Hi friends, welcome to the Chronicles. Today we are going to discuss the English summary of the poem How Symbol, written in Malayalam by PP Ramachandran and translated to English by Dr. B. Kala Verma in the text Pearls from the Deep in the syllabus of BA First Sem Common Course in MGU University. So let's read the poem How Symbol. It takes only a sweet little cry to let the world know that I'm here. I need only drop a mere feather to prove that I was here. It takes only the warmth of brooding to testify that I will yet be here. How can the birds express life in a simpler way? So the poem expressed the efforts taken by a bird to prove its existence on the earth through some of its deeds, such as through a sweet little cry, by making a little cry, by dropping a mere feather, by the warmth of its brooding. It's trying to prove its existence in this world. So that's the idea conveyed through this poem, and also the poem discusses the difference between the life of man and birds, and how man and birds treat their life in this world, and how they treat the nature. So let's move on. Let's discuss the interpretations or important points from the poem. The sweet little cry, the feather, and the warmth of brooding are things that are simple gestures of a bird through which it proclaims its existence. The bird in this poem leaves behind traces of the real life it lives for securing its identity and due credit in the world. Another interpretation of the poem could be that the grand show is over. In the world of increasing unreliability and skepticism, lighter and trivial events of life are the only ones that are left to be told. A bird's simple evolution of life can be the best thing to celebrate. Simple things is what human beings have missed doing in their rat race to succeed in life. Humans have blindly exploited, polluted, and exhausted nearly all the natural resources of Earth, hating, harming, and killing one another. The poem presents us with a contrast between the lives of birds and men. Avian life signifies, that is, bird's life signifies simplicity, but man's life signifies complexity and destruction. A bird's way of announcing its existence to the world is simple yet creative. The poem seems to connote that the simple and the creative are parts of a harmonious whole. In a nutshell, the poem seems to assert the idea of accepting simple work as creative. The poem can be interpreted simply as a heart-warming grand tale of the natural romance of birds, their mating, laying eggs, brooding, and the perpetuation of the bird species sung through a concise monologue. So here, the poet tries to represent the efforts of a bird to prove its existence as simple and also creative. So let's move on to the summary of the poem. How Symbol is the English translation of the Malayalam poem Lalitam, penned by poet PP Ramachandran. The poem is a modest attempt by the poet to juxtapose the complexity and artificiality of human life versus the simplicity and spontaneity of avian life. Man may boast to be the crown of creation, but he has a lot to learn from the birds and animals around him. Birds go about their business quietly, without ever unsettling the harmony of the natural environment they live in. Man, on the other hand, meddles with everything, raises a hue and cry when he achieves something of everyday insignificance, and disturbs the beauty and serenity of the world he lives in. He messes things up, expecting the future generations to mend and repair on his behalf. Greedy and overambitious, man leaves no stones unturned to have the posterity remember him. Here, the poet compares the life of man with that of birds and the differences between the both species. How man treats the environment or the nature or the world, and how the birds. The poet put forward the differences between these two species through different examples or through different things. How Symbol opens in the first person with the bird as the speaker. The bird affirms that it takes only a sweet little cry to let the world know that it is here. Evidently, the bird is describing the effortless simplicity with which it articulates its existence in the present. The bird gives out a sweet little cry to let the world know that it exists. Birds don't have the persuasive power of rhetoric, nor do they erect epitaphs and statues, nor do they create masterpieces to make their presence felt. Rather, they have a simpler and more natural way of getting things done. Living in harmony with nature, birds articulate the simplicity of existence through simple deeds like chirping or dropping a feather or brooding. Evidently, these are actions natural to a bird. Dropping a mere feather implies the simplicity with which a bird can prove that it was there in a particular place at a certain point in time. It is also an affirmation that the bird once existed. There is neither sophistication nor monotonous artificiality in what the bird does. The poem ends with a question: how can the birds express life in such a simpler way? So that's the that's the thing, or that's all about the poem How Simple. It's the efforts. It's about the efforts taken by a bird, or it is about a bird which is trying to prove its existence in this world or in this earth, by making a sweet little cry, by dropping a mere feather, or by its warmth of its brooding. It's trying to prove its existence to tell the world that it had existed there once. So that's all about the poem How Simple. Thank you all for listening. Subscribe and support for more literature related videos. Thank you, dear.